You see, because you're all excited. Boom! Go on in. Alright. Now that's funny. The second time. Because you really think I'm going to let you in. But I'm not. Sorry, kid.
Welcome to the Two-Tone Podcast, episode 18 of the Two-Tone Podcast. How you doing this week? Alongside me, as always,
THEO'S.
how you been, kid?
I've been living life.
I'm gonna say, oh damn, I just spilled my snack fucking everywhere. Y'all will never know, but, what you been up to? God damn, that shit really went everywhere. What you been up to, Theo?
Trying to work on a new script right now. I got some of it down, but trying to figure out how to continue the story.
I'm gonna say, I don't remember if we had talked about your newer script yet. Have you got anything you want to tell the people about the new script so far? What the vibe is or anything? Or you want to keep it a mystery?
Mystery.
Oh, mysterious. Okay. I'm gonna say I know about it, but I ain't gonna tell everybody about your plans if you don't want to tell nobody about your plans. But in two ways, if you are new to the Two-Tone Podcast, my name is Jaylen Kale, and I make music, and Theo makes short films and movies. If you want to check me out, right there, scrolling down at the bottom of the screen, linktree.com/JAK Productions. You will find my Instagram, my Twitter, and links to my Spotify and Apple Music. Apple Music. Yep. But either way, go check it out. I appreciate all y'all that do it. And for TT, if any of y'all want to be like a stagehand or an actor or behind the scenes in any fashion, go ahead and hit him up at back up. Hit him up at Glasshouse Films 8 on Instagram. That's where you can conversate about being in a film or a stagehand or whatnot. But he also makes short films, as I said, so go check him out at youtube.com/glasshousefilms8. You still going with Necronomicon at the moment, or are you just kind of putting that on the back burner?
As of right now, I'm putting that on the back burner because I don't feel like we're gonna have enough actors as of right now to do that. So
I was gonna say, last week we were talking to Kyle. It kind of made it more clear that like the short films, you really want a really small production crew, you know, like one or two actors tops, you know.
yeah, definitely.
Also, what he was saying about like how whatchamacallit, goodness. Sorry, I'm fucking slow today. How like the short films are like the sketches before the painting, as you said. Just kind of that idea to use a short film to explore an idea that you think you could use in a short film, you know. Not necessarily trying to tell an entire feature-length story in a short film. That was a very interesting way to think about it, and like the more I think about it in my own music and stuff, I kind of use music to a certain degree in like the same way, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'll find a sound I like or a genre I've been listening to a lot recently, and then end up making something that kind of sounds around what I've been listening to and exposing myself to, you know. But since you don't want to talk about your new one that you're writing,
I mean, we can talk about like ideas or like influence for the script, but I don't want to like give away what the story's about. Like I don't want to give away like what it's called technically, really.
okay.
So like we could talk about like the idea of it.
That's
and
fair
stuff
enough.
like
So,
that.
what would you say is like the driving inspiration behind this film so far?
The driving inspiration for this is probably, well, it is Oppenheimer, because what, like 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 or 3.
2 or 3, yeah.
Me and you went to go see it on film, and it just inspired me to try out some practical effects that I want to try and get. So that's really what I'm trying to do with this film. Like, this film isn't like, I wouldn't say it's focusing more on the story. It's more focusing on like what I can do with practical effects and stuff.
Just like the techniques of using like practical effects, as you said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm not really well versed in what you call it, video effects versus practical effects. Like, I really couldn't tell you what what they do in studio and what they do in post, you know. But it is very interesting to I'm gonna say, through all the slander of Oppenheimer, Kyle informed me that they like those are all practical effects that they used in the movie. Which
That's also like, now realizing it, it's been like I've seen like Christopher Nolan films and all that in the past, but I've never realized that most of his effects are practical. Like, barely any of those effects are digital. And I feel like it puts the actor in the actual position of what that character is supposed to feel. So like with Christopher Nolan and dropping like the bomb and everything, I mean, it's not said, or it's not, he hasn't said specifically that he's like dropped like an actual like explosive to create that effect, but most people are thinking that he did at this point, because he's very versatile in using practical effects instead of digital. And I feel like it puts the characters in more position so they know what's going on. Because like with practical effect, or with like digital effects, you can do like CGI and stuff, and like
Right.
you see all these like behind the scenes footage of the characters talking to like this big giant green thing that has no emotion, and it's just like a stand-in for the digital part.
Right. I feel like it could really help put an actor like really into the scene, you know.
Definitely.
I really hadn't. I'm absolutely terrible with names of movies and directors and actors. If you haven't caught on to that this far, but I pulled up a couple of the Christopher Nolan movies, and The Dark Knight and Interstellar both have really fucking cool effects in them. Like the transition scenes in Interstellar, super fucking sick. I don't know if those were done practically or in post, but either way,
Kyle, tell us in the comments if they were done digitally.
tell us in the comments below. But yeah, I didn't know that he used a lot of practical effects. I know I saw this one thing about, I want to say it's either Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises, when the Joker is walking out of the building and then he blows up the building behind him. Like how it was like mistimed, but they still used the clip in the final edit. It's really, I feel like it definitely would give you just a little bit of edge over having to, as you were saying, just interact with somebody just in a green suit, you know, just.
Yeah. And I feel like I want to go that direction with being a director. It's just, I want to do as much practical effects as I can, because I feel like it's a lot simpler to me to do practical effects than it is digital, because I don't know that much about like Blender and all that stuff that they use to do like CGI and digital effects.
I must say, I couldn't tell you the first thing about doing any sort of what's it called, CGI. You know, I couldn't tell you the first thing that would happen to doing a CGI.
But yeah, I feel like myself as a director would much prefer physical effects than digital.
Right. I can totally see that, but I feel like also it'd make it much more expensive to produce in the end.
Definitely.
Uh,
Maybe.
it kind of depends on how
I feel like it depends on how many effects there are.
well that
And,
and
like,
how easily
How easily you can do it.
right.
And
Like
stuff like
say
that.
for the mushroom cloud in Oppenheimer, they probably didn't drop. Well, they might have dropped like a smaller bomb, but I don't know how the fuck you get the clearance to do that. That'd be wild as shit. That's an interesting thing to think about. I never really thought about how people would.
I think his budget was like 9 million. 9 million? Yeah.
That's a lot of million.
But yeah, he gets a lot of like budget to do a bunch of stuff.
That makes sense. He's made a lot of really fucking good movies. As I've said already,
But, yeah.
I'm terrible with names and stuff, but you can usually tell a Christopher Nolan film apart from others.
Just like you can tell like a Wes Anderson film from like a Tim Burton film or
Right.
vice versa. Or
Speaking of Wes Anderson, have you seen Asteroid City?
I've not. Have you?
I watched like 40 minutes of it, and I don't know. It just seemed like it was fucking dragging. I don't know. I had a lot of.
Did you go to the theater?
No, it came out on Peacock a couple weeks ago.
No, I don't have Peacock. That's probably why.
I'll say we got it. Ask mom about it. But anyways, I watched like 40 minutes of it, and I don't know. I had a lot of high hopes for the movie. It looked really interesting. It looked really cool. But I mean, I'll probably end up finishing the movie. I think I ended up watching it a little bit later in the day. Took a break from it. But I don't know. It just seemed like it dragged a lot. It was an interesting concept for a movie, but I feel like he could have gotten more to the point. But also in that same vein, I feel like Wes Anderson is known for like dragging shit out, just for the aesthetic of the movie,
Yeah.
But
I mean, I feel like that's kind of what's like wrong with society nowadays is that everybody's so I want it now type of person. That's why like TikToks are like 5 seconds instead of like 2 hours
Very
because
true.
people just want that dopamine rush of watching something than
I'm about to say,
actually sitting
Like,
down and watching a film or anything.
as terrible as I am at watching YouTube shorts and shit, like sometimes I'll sit there for 35 minutes just watching YouTube shorts.
I do the same thing.
I'm gonna say TikTok is a whole nother fucking can of worms. I feel like somehow they like scientifically engineered the fucking algorithm just to drag you in. And luckily enough, I never really got into TikTok, so it's not a problem for me. But I see it being a very real problem for some other people.
I mean, like I'll watch TikToks, but I usually like skim through it. I don't never really like sit and watch a full video. It's more of just an idea
That's fair enough.
thing for me than it is like an actual watching what they're doing.
I'm about to say I'm at the age where like you realize that your time is valuable and like you don't have infinite time. So recently I try to live in the moment. I'm still a young child that grew up with a cell phone being the part of their just like everyday life. So it's gonna be a little more difficult for me than it would be for say mom or anybody older than us. Really, that didn't just
Yeah.
grow up with a cell phone in their pocket. Well, I didn't either, but in
I
my
get what
formative
you're
years,
saying,
you know what I'm saying. In my formative years, I had a cell phone, and it there's definitely quite a bit of a drop off in the attention span of a human. But anyways, let's get on into the song real quick. If you haven't noticed, we repainted the studio. It looks fucking nice. It looks fucking sexy. If you don't like it, don't tell me about it because I spent too much time. But anyways, let's get on into it. Welcome back to the Two Tone Podcast. Sorry, I was so prepared. But what was you gonna say? T? You was about to say something right before we cut to this song.
So, in my opinion, with Wes Anderson, I like his style, but I kind of feel like he should go back to like the stop motion animation type of films that he did with Mr. Fox or Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I might say Fantastic Mr. Fox is a really fucking good movie.
It is. I just like, I don't understand. It's just so, I don't want to say that. It's so like memorable. Just Fantastic Mr. Fox in general, the movie. I feel like it's because the way that when they did the stop motion animation for that film, I feel like they tried to make it as smooth as possible, but also at the same time not, because it kind of like fit the style of what he was going for with that.
Right. I feel like in any form of animation, you're gonna have a certain degree of choppiness, unless you're like really, really getting into the weeds. Some animes like will really get into the weeds, just like between here and here, they'll be like just like 7 different scenes of essentially just somebody walking. Excuse me. But I must say, don't get me wrong, I love Wes Anderson's style of direction. I love the aesthetic that he goes for, but I just couldn't find myself getting as invested as I had hoped I would.
The other film that he did that's really popular, I forget what it's called. It's like Hotel some or another.
Oh, bruh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It starts with a B or some shit.
Budapest Hotel.
Yep, that's it.
That's one was also a really good one. But yeah, I feel like
the Grand Budapest.
The Grand
Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yes. That film, and I don't understand. I feel like Wes Anderson is more of like a I wouldn't really say he's a goofy, but like his style is more like abstract than most people. Because like in Fantastic Mr. Fox, they don't really show in like the Grand Budapest Hotel, they don't really show emotions that well in that film, because he does, like, I feel like he as a director should follow more of like not showing emotions as much as like Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer.
Yep, I can totally see that. I feel like in Asteroid City, a lot of the performances, like as good as they are, they seem. Oh Jesus Christ, my microphone's fucking up again. Sorry about that. As good as the performances are, they do kind of seem flat in a sense, like. Everybody has their own like quirky little tidbits about them, but just it feels like they could have put a little bit more into each role, in my opinion. Like I don't really know why I didn't like it too much. It might be one of those things where like you set your expectations high and then the movie comes out and you're like, oh, this isn't anything like I thought it would be. That's kind of how I felt with Oppenheimer, like it looked like this really fucking grand, like boom, 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 boom kind of movie, but then it was like a slow burn of this dude's life. But
I kind of feel like that's what Wes Anderson's directing style is very, like, I feel like a lot of his films, he just doesn't really want to show emotion. He just wants to take you along on the story of what it's about.
That is also a big part in his movies, just trying to follow these couple characters just essentially in their life, but I can always appreciate that, as well as a movie where it's just, just like a fun time kind of movie, like The Dark Knight and Christopher Nolan, it's a fucking great movie. Like, it's a really well filmed, really well edited movie, but it doesn't really have a message. It doesn't really have a point that it's going for. But
yeah,
it's you still kind of bond with characters in the story. You get to learn a little bit about Bruce Wayne. You get to learn a little bit about the Joker. you get to kind of see how their characters affect each other, you know?
Yeah. With Wes Anderson, it's just it's kind of hard to describe because he doesn't really show emotions with his characters, but then there's that one character that he has in the film that does show emotions.
Mm.
So it's kind of difficult to like figure out what his type of style is with that. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe of what his style is, other than like 70s with bright colors. We're having technical difficulties with JAYLEN'S microphone. I am sorry about his disappearance from this podcast. But he is working on it very diligently. So the film of the week this week is Robots. Yes, Kyle, that Robots. The best animated film to ever be animated. That Robots, Kyle. That one. You're thinking about it. I can tell. You're thinking about it. Yep. That one. That one right there. Yep. But yeah, it's Robots. It's a great film. Very funny. Very comedic.
Hello. Oh, Jesus Christ. Finally got us
Great
back.
fun.
Sorry for everybody. Y'all had to listen to TT say the same thing about 4 times. Anyways, sorry for the technical difficulties. I forgot what we was even talking about, honestly. But let's get on into the film of the week, as TT was talking about, with Robots. So,
Yes.
what made you choose Robots? Not trying to dog on you, but you know, it's quite the niche choice.
One, I saw it on a Vine meme thing on like TikTok. I was scrolling and I just found a little meme from it. And 2, because it's probably one of the best, in my opinion, animated films because of how funny it is. Also, the animation of it is crazy. For when this came out, that's crazy.
I was about to say, for 2005, the animation of Robots is really fucking good. I'm about to say it was before its time, animation wise. I feel like, but fucking what's his name? That's Robin Williams, the comedy relief. Yeah, R.I.P. The comedic relief in the movie. I forget what his character's name is. I think it's like Bender or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But anyways,
my God,
I really forgot that Robin Williams was even in this movie, but he is one of my favorite performances of Robin Williams ever. That scene where him and the main character, bro, right there, like get into the city, and he's like, I know this town like the back of my hand. Oh, hey, that's new. And then like a thing just swings in and just hits him, and he's like, bruh.
My favorite part in this movie is when the grandma with the big booty farts.
Oh, Aunt Fanny. Yeah.
And kills
like,
the lamp outside.
They're all doing armpit farts. Yeah. They're all just trying to like out fart each other with their armpit farts. And
also, when she's like moving around and just hits everybody with her
Aunt Fanny with the big old fat fanny. The lamppost. He's like, please call a doctor. Bruh, I ain't seen this movie.
Or when Robin Williams' character puts on the Lady Gaga outfit and starts dancing.
Oh, bro, there's so many fucking good little clips from this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, man, check it out.
So good.
It's so fucking funny. Where did it go? There it is. But yeah, I really haven't seen Robots in forever. I might have to go back and watch it.
Or the part when his dad brings him his cousin's old parts, and it's a woman's and it's women's parts.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go, son. Here
The
are your
fucking
new
hand me
parts.
down parts. That leads
So
me
funny.
into one of the topics that we shorthandedly came up with. So, what do you think the odds are that the human form merges with technology to become cyborgs / robots?
I mean, I can see it like for medical devices and stuff, but I can't see anything like that happening anytime soon.
You don't think somebody gonna have a motherfucking bionic arm or some shit, be able to punch through concrete?
Maybe just like I can see like him having a person having a bionicle arm for like, say if they got their arm cut off or they like lost their arm,
Right.
just to like get it back.
Like
I can see
prosthetic almost, yeah.
I can see like that being prosthetic stuff, but I can't see that anytime within the next couple of years. I mean, they're already kind of working on it.
Excuse me.
With Neuralink.
Oh yeah, that's going to be very
And stuff.
interesting shit to see over the next few decades. See where that goes.
And a lot of the what was the word that you just said?
What?
The body part.
A prosthetic?
Yeah, that word. The prosthetics that they're making now are a lot more technology based than they were 100 years ago.
Very true. I've seen a few people that have like a what's it like the hand can close on their prosthetic so they can still grab shit.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I wonder how far Neuralink is gonna come to where like I've heard that like people they're starting it for like people who have like spinal injuries so they can like walk and move around again and be independent. I wonder how far it'll go, you know, because
I mean, I feel like Neuralink in the future, like far in the future, is going to become like crazy, but I don't feel like it's going to be anytime soon. Like, I feel like people are going to like be like, oh, can you put Neuralink in my child so they can see their phone? Like,
that'd be
really?
retarded, you know. Just be scrolling through TikTok, just like head movements and shit. You know, it'd probably be like connected to your fingers. You know, you still just sit there, just look like you're staring off into space. But I don't know. It's the Neuralink. The whole thing kind of freaks me out. You know, I feel like it could either go really well and help a lot of people, or it can go really bad and just kind of be like the start of the end of it all. You know, it'll be very interesting to see what comes about it.
Especially, like, imagine those people that, like, lost their jobs in, like, nuclear facilities and shit, and they just have Neuralink, and they got, like, and, like, somehow it gets messed up, and they just, like, randomly press a button that they didn't mean to press because the Neuralink malfunctioned.
Oh, like kind of like how that I think it was with you we were talking about I can't remember if it was on the podcast or not, but that movie where the automatic car is driving,
Yeah.
and then he's like manual override.
Uploaded.
Upload it, yeah. Kind of like that, where the technology is not quite up to date with the human experience, you know. I don't know.
Or like somebody could hack it or something.
Yeah,
You could
that's
just-
also a really viable concern. It's one of those things that it's such a complex issue that I don't really know which way I think it'll go in the end. It'll be interesting either way to see how it ends up. But
I don't think anybody's gonna be looking like Cyborg over there, like that superhero. Anytime
I mean,
soon.
That'd be sick as fuck if I had just like an arm I could just like just like a transformer arm, dog.
Just imagine like if he just fell asleep and he just like he made his body just do work for him while he's asleep.
That'd
That
be
shit would
fried
be
as fuck.
I'd be like and they'd be like, Theo, wake up, and my body's just like making food.
That'd be fried as fuck. You just type
Doing
in
my
essay
job.
while you dead ass asleep. That'd be hilarious. Oh, there we go. All right, while we're here, quote of the week. The quote of the week is from Robin Williams, a true scholar and a quite the good comedic actor and comedian, if I do say so. Anyways, on to the quote of the week. The things we fear the most have already happened to us. Yup.
Oh, yeah.
So, I feel like this kind of speaks to like the reason why many people don't chase their dreams and shit is because they've seen other people's dreams either be shot down or they've tried and just didn't get a good response, so they kind of give up on the process of doing whatever they wanted to do in the first place, you know. Did that make sense at all? I feel like I was just kind of beating around the bush there.
Yeah.
But you know, the reason that you don't go and chase something is because you kind of already predetermined that it didn't work last time, so why would it work this time, you know? That's I feel like that's a big deterrent in the entertainment industry, especially, you know. Some people will try and break out with like in music, for example, like somebody will try and go and have a different kind of sound, and then the community doesn't really fuck with it and stuff, so they kind of revert back into their older sound that was more popular, you know, instead of trying to progress into something more experimental, or, you know, see if they can find footing in a new area, you know. Rather stay safe in your own lane than try and switch, essentially, is what I'm saying.
It's kind of like getting on the interstate. You don't want to switch over because you feel like you're going to get hit, but then you have to, because at the end of the day, if you don't, you're going to be stranded on the side of the road with a busted tire.
Very true. You got to do what you got to do. I don't know what the fuck I was going to say, but
like it took me a while to get so used to getting on the interstate, because I fucking hate getting on the interstate.
Oh, I love driving on the interstate, bro.
I hate it because it's just one time. This one time.
Mm-hmm.
When I was driving my old car, we got on the interstate, me and two of my friends, and I was in between two semis. I was trying to get into the furthest lane. I turned my turn signal on, started moving over. Last second, this dude goes zipping by me, and I whipped back in between the two semis, and that shit made me want to shit myself. First of all, because I could have crashed into either of those semis because we were pretty close to each other. Second of all, because that guy didn't give me any information that he was behind me or in that lane at all. Like,
right.
No honking, no nothing. He just zipped by me and then looked at me like, what the fuck you doing?
I can get that. Motherfuckers be dumb as shit on the interstate, honestly. It amazes me that there aren't more car accidents than there are. But either way, as you were saying, you know, you gotta merge into the lane.
Just gotta do it.
You just gotta do it. You gotta go with what you feel, you know. Make something because you want to make it. Anyways, onward and upward on the Two Tone Podcast. The album of the week.
Yep.
Is A Good Thing from Leon Bridges. You know much about Leon Bridges, T?
I I know 2 of his songs from like a while ago. I can't remember the exact names, but
I might say he had a album came out a while ago that was it was pretty popular.
If I heard the 2 songs, I'd probably be able to tell you. But they were like really popular. You showed me when I was like 6th grade.
It's the one that's like, baby, baby, babe,
Yeah.
I'm coming home.
That one, and then there was another one.
Yeah, that's from his album. I think it's called Coming Home. I think that's the title. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But either way, this album is if you're not really familiar with Leon Bridges, he's kind of like a 50s, 60s kind of vibe. Almost like Motown, something around like that, like R&B, soul, that kind of vibe. But his first album that he came out with, it was really heavy on that kind of vibe, like the 60s or 50s, 60s kind of like doo-wop, soul, Motown kind of vibes. But I feel like Good Thing is like Leon Bridges' like first album that kind of represents who he is as a musician, you know? He definitely does pull inspiration from a lot of those kind of inspirations as I've talked about, you know, the 50s and 60s kind of shit. But he puts his own like modern twist onto it, you know. Leon Bridges will, you know, forever hold a special place in my life. He was the first dude that I ever saw in concert. Me, Kyle, and Curtis went to go see Leon Bridges when we were like, I want to say sophomores or juniors in high school or something like that. But I remember it was like the first time we'd ever drove downtown, just me, Kyle, and Curtis. And we went and saw him. We had tickets on the bottom floor, and then Kyle saw this lady that was like selling upgrades for seats on the balcony. And you know, we upgraded our seats for $20 or whatever it was. And the opener, I want to say his name is Solo Woods or something like that. I forget exactly what his name is, but he was really fucking good opener. But Leon Bridges, the music was fucking fire, you know. He makes really good music. And the show was really fucking good. He puts a lot of thought and time into his performance, you know. He is singing and dancing, and he's got a whole horn section, and, you know, just a really big production to make sure that the show is really good. I always appreciate when an artist can recognize the usefulness in making a not only a sonically good performance, but, you know, a visually good performance as well. But I don't know. It really doesn't have a bad track on the entire album. It's it starts off with more like more kind of like his earlier work, and then it goes into like this kind of like jazz fusion number. And I don't know, I just love the entire album. I listen to it all the time, honestly. But yeah, if you haven't heard of Good Thing, go check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you find your tunes these days. Oh, also, if you want to go watch Robots, it's on HBO Max. Go check it out. But anyways, onward and upward. We were talking a little bit before the podcast about what bro over here is going through, and that's depression. Yeah. So, I don't really remember what question you asked me that made me tell you to save it for the podcast, but you know, let's get into it, and we'll probably find it along the way. So what did you want to talk about depression for? Or not necessarily want to, but, you know, what's going through your mind, T? We're gonna we're gonna do a little therapy session. All right.
It's just I don't really know if I can do it anymore. Just like all the bullshit in life, you know.
Yeah, I do know life has quite the decent bit of bullshit.
It's like dealing with
It's like dealing with this fucking chair, dog. This motherfucker is so creaky. I'm sorry to everybody that's left to listen to us.
yeah. It's just like I don't understand how people like how do you wake up every day and you're just like, damn, I gotta do this. Like it's just I don't know.
It's just like you were saying, merging onto the highway, you know. As much as it's fucking scary and it sucks and, you know, you don't really want to do it, you got to do it or else you're going to be on the side of the road, as you were saying, you know. There aren't many things in this world that, like, really annoy my life, you know, growing up with two brothers and a single mom, you know. You kind of learn to get over some shit, but the amount that humans have just like fucked the way that we're supposed to live will never cease to amaze me, you know. Like humans weren't built to work a 9 to 5. Humans weren't built to live 80, 90, 100 years, you know. It's one of those things that like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, damn, we like really just have fucked ourselves, you know, and there's nothing that we can do about it as individuals. And so, you know,
Then you got motherfuckers that are just like doing whatever the fuck they want and not caring about the consequences, like the presidents and shit.
oh yeah, I'm gonna say politics. That's on a whole nother fucking tangent. But the political system will never get fixed if there's financial benefits from being a piece of shit. But anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Oh, just like the way that we've just fucked being human beings and shit. But you know, we weren't built to work a 9 to 5. We weren't built to live as long as we do.
Like people in the 1800s, they were happy to live past 20.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say that. I feel like
Now we're just like I don't even want to fucking live past 5.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say I feel like especially I'm gonna fucking sound like a conspiracy nut. But there's this thing, I forget exactly what the name of it is, but there's a part of the human anatomy where like the top of your skull doesn't like fully 100% fuse until you're like 25, 26, you know, or like your late teens into your early 20s, I think it is. But anyways, when it fully forms, it puts like the tiniest bit of pressure on your head, and that's been associated to like a rise in schizophrenic tendencies, a rise in depression, and a rise in anxiety, and all sorts of other mental disorders, if you will. But I only bring this up. There was an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast. He had this lady on, and they were talking about trepanning. You ever heard of that?
The fuck is that?
All right, so the trepanning is an ancient medical procedure where they take a little drill.
Is that when they drill into your skull?
Yeah, they drill a little tiny hole into your skull, so your brain can pulse in synchronicity with your heartbeat. So since your brain is like fully in contact with the top of your head, it doesn't have the room it needs to pulse essentially at the correct rate or frequency. And that's also contributed to schizophrenia, all sorts of mental disorders and stuff like that are diagnosed later in life, you know. So that's why a lot of people have this feeling of, you know, everything was so much better when I was a child. You know, everything just like the world seemed like a brighter place because your brain didn't have the restriction on it that it does when you're older, you know. So
All right, John, this sounds like let's go get some fucking chicken pocketsy, whatever the fuck you said.
it's trepanning, but
let's go get some of that shit done to us.
It's definitely one of those things that I've read up a lot about, and it definitely, from what I've heard, it holds no negative effects. You know, like, but the positive effects are very minute, you know. So the way I've heard it explained is that, like, if the lady that was talking about it could go back in time and do it again, like if they could go back in time and decide whether to do it or not, they would still do it, but they don't really think that it had that profound of a effect on their mental state, you know. But either way, it's back to the fact that humans have just fucked the way that we live. I feel like that's only become a thing within like the last few hundred years when we've found out medicine and we've figured out
medicine was really what fucked us.
Oh yeah, I might say once you learn to live longer, like you're really just pushing your fucking body on empty after a certain point. Like
it's like driving a car without gas.
Right. I truly believe that humans as a species, if you live to be like 40, then that's extraordinary. Like that, I feel like 45, if you're 45 in like an ancient village in the middle of nowhere, then you're like an elder, you know, like you're like a fucking anomaly. I feel like most humans shouldn't have lived past like 32, you know.
You know what's crazy? All of talking about all this like shit about ancient medicine and bullshit. This brings up this thought. You know all of the like native African people that are just like in camps not doing like 9-to-5 jobs, bullshit, stuff like that. They're so much happier, it seems, than the people that are like living in America doing a 9-to-5.
I can definitely see what you're saying there, but you also got to think they got to go out into the jungle and shoot for monkeys so they can eat for the next week, and we can, you know, go across the street to the Walmart and get essentially the entire meat of a cow for $45, you know. You know, you just got to think that everybody's got to struggle in a certain sort of way, and in no means are they equal in any regards. But
I think it goes to show that like nature is something that humans are used to, not the inside of a fucking room for 5 hours.
Oh, most definitely. It like like when I went on vacation to California a few years ago. Just like the entire energy of California, it just seems like an entire different country than being in Indiana, you know. We went in, I want to say it was like April it was like the end of April 2022 or something, 2020. I don't remember exactly when it was, but either way, it was spring going into summer. And so in Indiana, you know, you got rain, you got hot ass fucking days, you got just like everybody's just kind of over being wet and hot. And then we went out to California, you know, it's hot, but you got the cool breeze from the ocean. It wasn't raining one single day we was there. You know, it's just like a fucking beautiful place. But also in contrast to the just like the sheer beauty of California as a state, you know, you also got like the homeless population. So that also kind of takes away from the beauty, but it just, as what I'm getting to is, it seems like a much more nature centric kind of, you know, the people feel more connected to what's going on around them. As not necessarily like in regards to like the societal part of the. Everybody seems more grounded. That's the word I'm going to use, grounded. Everybody seemed like they were, they understand that everybody's just, getting their hustle on and you got to make money to live. But
you know what? It's also fucking retarded. Have you ever seen videos comparing European countries to America?
I see them all the time.
So dumb. Okay, so the average European gets 4-week vacation.
If only.
In America, our average vacation time is like a half a week to a week.
I'm gonna say I haven't taken vacation since.
Fucking retarded how the United States government tells us how we can only have a certain length of vacation when most of the world around us is taking a longer vacation.
Well, it's not necessarily the government that's enforcing the vacation rules. It's like the businesses and shit. But
and like,
I get what you're saying.
They get paid time off when they're pregnant. Americans, bitch, you pregnant.
You might
get to work.
I might say in European countries, they usually get you the first 6 months of your child's life. In America, you'd be lucky if you get 6 weeks.
Yeah. It's just depressing how America's been just like, or has been ran as a country. That's what I'm trying to say. Because of all the, like, there's like taxes. We pay. Okay, so we pay waitresses to bring us food, right?
Right.
In Europe, they don't pay them because they know that the waitresses get paid as much as they can, or get paid as much as like the cooks and stuff.
Right. I'm gonna say, I think
and the waitresses in like Europe and stuff find it disrespectful when you tip them.
Right. I'm gonna say the minimum wage, the waitressing rules in the United States are so fucked. Excuse me. I'm not sure if it's like this, but in Indiana, it's they get paid like $2 or $3 as like their hourly pay, and then they really heavily rely on tips to make up the rest of their money.
Also, the taxes in the United States are fucking ridiculous.
I'm going to say, like, how you going to give me my check, and then I got to pay taxes out that check, and then anytime I buy something, I got to pay taxes.
Yeah. Like, when you buy something in America, you have to pay the price that it says on the ticket, plus the 2% or the 7% or whatever fucking percent it is in taxes to buy that object. Where in Europe, they have it on the ticket of how much it costs.
Right, I must say that I really don't understand like
how you gonna tell me it's $45 and then be like, oh nope, it's $70.
Like, it's $45 on the ticket, but then you get to the counters, $52.92, please. Well, how the fuck
exactly?
It says $45. What the fuck? But I totally understand what you're saying. I have no idea how the financial system works in any capacity, honestly.
And then you got to pay taxes for them to give you your money back that you paid taxes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they're going to take money out of your paycheck. They're going to save that money. They're going to pay taxes to the state that you live in and the government. But then when you go and get your money back from the year, you got to pay more taxes to get it back. Might as well just take my fucking wallet at that point. Like,
yeah, I really couldn't tell you how any of it works, honestly.
It's so dumb.
It really is frustrating to to have to understand it all on your own,
I don't know if you want to say, but
say what?
How much did you get back on your tax payment?
Oh, bruh.
Exactly. crazy.
Bruh. All right, so, when you file your taxes, I'm not going to say how much I made for the year, but, say you make $25,000, you're going to think you're going to get a couple $100 for your tax return. All right, so guess how many dollars I got? I'll give y'all a couple seconds to guess. Wrong. $1. They gave me one fucking dollar. And I was like, there's got to be some sort of mistake here. I don't know how the fuck for the past couple years I've gotten $300-$400 back, and then I get one fucking dollar, dog. I was like, how you going? All right, that's how it is. And then I owed the state like $164, and I was like, how the fuck does this happen? What, did y'all just not take my money this whole year? What the fuck? But
the fucking government.
It's all sorts of fuck shit, just trying to.
And then we're gonna put a fucking 80-year-old in the goddamn office.
Oh, don't even.
Here you go, Grandpa. Just fucking run the country.
Don't even get me started, bro. All right.
That shit fucking pissing me off.
I'm about to say, don't even get me started on the whole thing. All right, we're at about time here. I want to say thank y'all for watching the Two Tone Podcast. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and please hit that subscribe button. It's a free way to show us you appreciate what we're doing here, and it's a little serotonin boost in my day if you hit that subscribe button. But we're at 30 subscribers so far. We're doing pretty good. We got more subscribers than episodes. That's what I'm worried about. You got anything else for the people, T, real quick?
Check out my stuff at Glasshouse Films 8 on YouTube. If you want to get in contact with me in any way to help, Glasshouse Films 8 on Instagram, just message me there. Check out JAYLEN'S stuff. I don't know if he wants me to say it or if he wants to say it, but
I'll say it. Check me out on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, YouTube, Deezer. I'm trying to think. iHeartRadio. I'm trying to think of like the most obscure one I could think about. I don't know, but go check me out. Linktree.com/JAK Productions. That'll take you to my music on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. And it'll also take you to my Instagram and Twitter pages if you want to follow me on there. I don't get on there too much, just promoting the podcast nowadays. Trying to stay off the internet as much as I can. But what you gonna say, T?
check out Friends with Differences podcast.
Oh yeah.
Check out Kyle Baston at Baston Films.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say we just had Kyle on last week. Go check him out. He released his new short, Tinted Love. If you like the song at the credits over there, your boy made it. So go check me out too. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like, leave a comment, share it with your brother, your sister, your cousin, your goldfish's nephew, and be easy on yourself. You deserve it.